In 2007, 4.5 million children were diagnosed with ADHD, and I was one of them. I was struggling with school and falling significantly behind the other kids in my class. My parents consulted with my pediatrician, who suggested taking me to get tested for ADHD. I met with a medical professional and a psychologist who administered several basic English, reading, and math tests. They also took information from surveys taken by my parents and teachers, as well as observations made by them. The psychologist and doctor came to the conclusion that I had ADHD after reviewing the results.
Symptoms of ADHD are trouble staying focused, appear not to listen when spoken to directly, have difficulty following directions, blurt out answers interrupting the questionnaire.
The diagnosis is done by a medical professional. They run several tests such as a symptoms checklist and a behavioral rating scale. Information is taken from family, friends, and teachers. They also rule out any learning disabilities. Depending on the outcome of the test, there are 3 different categories of ADHD an individual could be diagnosed with. Those categories are predominantly inattentive, hyperactive impulsive, or a combination of the 2.
Standard treatments for ADHD include medications, education, and counseling. These treatments can relieve many of the symptoms of ADHD, but they don't cure. Currently, psychostimulants are the most commonly prescribed drugs for ADHD. Methylphenidate medications appear to balance levels of brain chemicals called neurotransmitters. These medications help improve the signs and symptoms of inattention and hyperactivity. Common forms of methylphenidate are Ritalin, Concerta, and Metadate. ADHD symptoms have been associated with disruptions in the regulation of dopamine. Dopamine is a natural chemical that relays messages across the gaps between neurons. Specifically, dopamine is released across the synapse where it binds to receptors on the postsynaptic neuron to elicit an effect. Dopamine transporters clear up the chemical back into the presynaptic cell. Methylphenidate interrupts this process by blocking the reuptake of dopamine. This increases levels of dopamine in the brain, relieving symptoms of ADHD. Side effects of methylphenidate can vary slightly among individuals. A person might experience trouble sleeping, anxiety, blurred vision, loss of appetite, increased blood pressure, stomach pain, weight loss,